Wang Bo was a genius prodigy. He was already composing poems when he was only 6 years old. By the age of 10, he already studied the 6 classics for civil service examination and mastered all of them. By 16, he had passed the National Civil Service examination and got a job at Chao Sanlang, a rank 7 honorary position with a salary but no specific work to do. Wang Bo compiled another rhymed essay in the title of 前元殿颂, ode to 前元后 when the whole was completed and presented to Emperor Li Zhi, the husband of the only female emperor Wu Zhetian in Chinese history. Emperor Li Zhi was so impressed that he appointed Wang Bo as the tutor to a prince named Li Xian, who later became the crown prince. Prince Li Xian, like many other young men of the noble class of the time, loved rooster fighting. He often organized battle sessions for his roosters with the roosters of his younger brother, Prince Li Xian. To make the rooster fighting more interesting, Wang Bo compiled 习英王基文, a word declaration on behalf of Prince Li Xian's rooster, and sent it to the younger prince Li Xian. It is a bit of awkward that the two princes' names sound exactly the same in English, but in Chinese, one of them pronounced in the second tone, and the younger one's name pronounced in the third tone. So one is Li Xian, and the other one is Li Xian. I don't know if you can actually hear the difference. Anyway, the rooster word declaration somehow caught the attention of Emperor Li Zhi. The emperor was so infuriated that he fired Wang Bo immediately. Let me just show you a couple of the excerpts from this essay to show you why it infuriated the emperor. 两雄不堪并立，一着何敢自忘? A male rooster will not allow my opponent standing with me side by side. How dare you to boast your victory of one peck? 唐为击塞之令，立正击防之行. If you violate the order of Rooster Fortress, you will be immediately executed. 持服而败类者必杀，定当割以牛刀. The rooster who plays dead or ruins his fellow rooster's reputation must be executed by the huge knife that could slaughter an ox. 此席, this is the official word declaration. Given the fact that the Tang Dynasty started with a infighting between brothers, recall that the second emperor Li Shiming murdered 2 of his brothers and house arrested his father, the first emperor Li Yuan. The first quote must hurt very much to Emperor Li Zhi. The violent intention shown in the second and the third quotes would also be terrifying to the emperor, and the pretentious official tone in the declaration was also a thorn in the flesh because it mocked all the decrees issued by his regime. No wonder the emperor was so angry. However, the 18-year-old Wang Bo had no idea what he had done. He just having a bit of fun with his prince. So, after this incident, Wang Bo left Chang'an and went on traveling to Sichuan, the frontier of the newly established Tang Empire. 3 years later, Wang Bo returned to Chang'an from Sichuan to join another civil service examination for a position. Of course, he passed the exam successfully and was given a position in a well-off county named Guozhou, located in today's Henan province. During his time at Guozhou, Wang Bo committed a serious crime. He murdered a fleeing slave named Chao Da. The records of this incident in the Old Tang Dynasty history and the New Tang Dynasty history were very brief. The funny thing is that the two records have a rather different tone recording this incident. According to the Old Tang Dynasty history, Wang Bo hid the fleeing slave at his home after the former committed a crime. Later on, Wang Bo worried that his colleagues might expose his act and get caught. So he killed Chao Da to avoid being exposed. While in the New Tang Dynasty history, it is recorded that Chao Da hid in Wang Bo's house. Wang Bo worried that they both might be caught and killed Chao Da. Apparently, the New Tang Dynasty history painted Wang Bo in a much lenient tone, making him a victim rather than a criminal. However, I think the older version story might be true. It looks like Wang Bo was an impulsive and reckless young man who acted before thinking things over. He probably also had a little sense of right and wrong. He just acted with whatever felt right at a given moment. This explains why he was initially willing to protect a fugitive, but regretted out of fear of being caught and kill the fleeing slave. Of course, this incident landed Wang Bo in hot water again. Not only he was sentenced to be executed, but also got his father demoted from a position at a well-off county near the capital to the remote frontier located in today's Vietnam. Fortunately, Wang Bo was pardoned, so he decided to visit his father. However, it was also during this trip he died at the age of 26. The record about how he died vary a lot. Some say that he died in a shipwreck on his way to Vietnam. Other sources say that he died in a shipwreck on his way back to Chang'an. Still other sources say that he died in an outing while he was visiting his father. However he died, his body was buried at Huanzhou, where his father used to serve as a governor. The local people loved this poetic genius and built a shrine for Wang Bo and his father, which preserved his remains and a wooden statue of Wang Bo by his father for over 1,000 years. Unfortunately, the grave and the shrine were bombed and destroyed by the U.S. Army in 1972 during the Vietnam War. Fortunately, Wang Bo's shrine was rebuilt in 2016 in a temple among other historical figures. It is very interesting that Wang Bo's shrine is rediscovered by Chinese tourists visiting Vietnam and has become a hot spot for many Chinese tourists. There are a lot of videos on the Chinese TikTok platform recording their visits to Wang Bo's tomb and the shrine. I'm Dr. Gao, a philosopher obsessed with poetry. I make videos about the classical Chinese poetry and history and classical Chinese philosophy and the philosophy of traditional Chinese medicine. Please click the like button and subscribe my channel. Your support is very important to me. I also offer one-to-one online lessons on these subjects. So, if you would like to read the classic texts with me or explore any of these topics, please contact me. Here is my email address. Thanks for watching my video. I'll see you next time.